Welcome back, folks. Today we have a biggie, pasteles. Boy, is it something to do. Pasteles are, what they are they're meat pies. Think of meat pies, but think of meat pies stuffed with tubers. By tubers I mean root plants. For instance, this is what is known as a yautía. Just to be on the safe side, I made some notes here, and this is what it's called, yautía. In some places it's known as tenillo or dasheen. It's a very hardy root plant that we use quite a bit in our culture. If for some reason you don't have root plants, you can also use what is known as yuca or cassava, which is the same deal. You also need green bananas. That's right, a green banana. In Vermont here, they don't have green bananas. So what I tell the local supermarket manager is, when you get the bananas, if they're green, save them. I'll take them. He thinks I'm crazy, but I buy all his bananas. Plantains. You need green plantains. Another root plant popular in our culture, and potatoes. Maybe two large potatoes, and last but not least, pumpkin. In terms of the yautía or the cassava, about maybe a pound and a half, you would need about 10 green bananas, 2 root plants, 2 large potatoes, and about a pound and a half of pumpkin. Simply what it entails is, you peel these suckers, you cut them into pieces, and then you grate them. Okay, so let's get started. Let me say again, I cannot emphasize this enough, folks. Pasteles are a special dish. They're usually prepared during the holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, any special time of the year. When I came back from Vietnam, this was the dish that my mother made for my homecoming back from the war. So it has great special memories for me. But it's a big project. It is not something that is done fast and quick. Let's put that up front. The yautía. Simple. What you do is you peel them. See? No problem there. Again, you can do this. You can do the same with cassava, yuca. You can do the same with let's say plantains, whatever root plant you want. We have one called malanga, believe it or not, which is a round oblong type. You can do it with turnips. And once it has been peeled, you just cut them into pieces. Okay. This is about how big you want the pieces, because again, you need to grate them. The same will be done with the green banana. The green banana, you slice it, you peel it very easily, and then you cut it into small pieces, just like you did with the yautía. Now, the same principle will apply with the plantains, although it's a little bigger. Trim off the ends, make one slit on the middle, and then you remove the jacket. Some are easier than others, depending upon how hard or how green the plantain is. And there you are. And then the same principle applies. Cut it into pieces. Small quarters or fourths. And we're set with the bananas. With potatoes, the same thing applies. We all know how to peel potatoes. I don't even have to do that. You peel them and you slice them into pieces. The pumpkin. Again, you take off the seeds. Here, you have to peel the skin. Simple. Just take a peeler and just peel the skin. In the old days, my father used to use a shaving blade. You know, the gem blades, those old blades. For some reason, he always used the razor blade to peel it, and it worked pretty good. He was an expert. Then you cut the potatoes into pieces, small pieces, just like you did with the other root plants. Let's say about an inch, half an inch, some more, some less. And we're ready for the next step. Now the plantains and the assorted root plants have been peeled and cut. In the old days, we used to grate them by hand. In other words, we used to take a grater and put this on a bowl and just go at it. It would take forever. Unfortunately today, fortunately, we have a food processor. Now, this is a point of dispute in my family. The old generation, like my father's generation, they will never use a food processor. They say the only way you can do it is you have to grate it by hand. And if you cut your fingers, whatever pieces of meat, that will only increase the flavor of the food. That's what they say. I believe in shortcuts, I believe in tradition, but I also believe in shortcuts. So we're going to use the food processor. Simple. Now we'll put the ingredients in the food processor. So you can see, right up to the top. Thank goodness for labor-saving devices. You don't have to grate all day, and it can be done in minutes. Done. If my father were here, he would be livid. Now, this is what is known as the masa, otherwise known as the paste. As you can see, it's fine. It's all the ingredients mixed all together, processed to a very good consistency. What was in the bowl, by the way, was more masa, or the paste that I had prepared beforehand. This is it. It's called masa, stuffing or paste. The next step is preparing the meat. In the old days, it used to be pork. However, you can use ground chicken, you can use ground turkey, you can use ground beef, chuck. No problem there. This, what I'm using for health reasons, is ground turkey. About 2 pounds, 2.5. The ingredients that we're going to use with the turkey is half a cup, or 1/2 to a cup full of chopped Spanish olives, capers, an 8-ounce can of tomato paste, a 16-ounce can of chickpeas, otherwise known as garbanzo beans, and half a cup of raisins. Okay, first, to prepare the meat, some olive oil, I'd say about maybe 2 tablespoons. Make sure that it gets nice and hot. Now we're going to add the meat. There we are. And this we cook very easily until the meat has lost its red color. Again, I use olive oil. Some people prefer using canola oil. Some people prefer using vegetable oil. Some people prefer using peanut oil. Whichever suits your palate. I prefer olive oil because, well, I like the taste. And also, according to our so-called experts, in the long run, it's healthier for you. As you can see, the meat is cooking just fine. Now we add garbanzo beans, or what are known as chickpeas. This is the Goya brand. There are many brands out there. I've drained the Goya, I've drained the chickpeas because of the salt content. Some people in some areas prefer to throw in the chickpeas along with the water. Again, let your taste buds be the judge as to that. So here we go. There are the chickpeas. And then we add the sweetener, which is the raisins. Mix it all together. Nice and fine. Then we cover and we saute it for about 10 minutes. This, ladies and gentlemen, is achiote. Achiote comes from the bark and the pulp of a tropical plant, and the pulp yields a dye that is used for coloring cheeses and certain foods. Back in the old days in the Caribbean, Latin America, the Caribbean Indians and the South American Indians will use it as body paint. Today we're not using it for body paint, we're just using it for flavoring our dish. What you take is, as you can see, it's like a nice bright red color. It's almost like seeds. You put about, let's say, about a cup of achiote. Gotta be careful because this stains like anything. And I'm going to cook the achiote in 2 cups of vegetable oil. Once over medium heat, once the vegetable oil is nice and hot, you add the achiote and you saute it until it reaches a nice bright orange red color. It takes about 5 minutes to saute the achiote, also known as annatto. We call it the achiote coloring, and the longer you cook it, the deeper reddish color it achieves. The achiote / annatto is used when we make flavored rice, or when we make colored yellowed rice, or we're trying to put a color as well as a distinct flavor to any of the many Latin dishes that we're familiar with. Once it's ready, what you do with the achiote / annatto is you strain it, and that is the dye or the color that you will use as a flavoring for the rest of the dish. The achiote has now been done. As you can see, it's a nice bright red color, and we're going to strain it into this pan. See there how beautiful it is? Luscious red color. You strain it. The seeds you can discard. We just use the achiote coloring.